Now, most of you might know I got a Nitro 640. It's a 16-foot boat, narrow beam. It's one of the older boats. And I absolutely love it because it's 16 foot, it's narrow, we can get it in and out of the river. And when we bought it, it had the original 2-stroke 90 horse on it. And I was like, all right, we're going to keep the boat because we put all new carpet in it. We started rewiring it, put new electronics on it, put a Ghost trolling motor on it. And I was like, all right, if we're going to keep this boat, let's put a newer motor on it. A 2023 4-stroke 90 horse Mercury and put it on the back. At the point that they said that the motor was only 100 pounds heavier than the 2-stroke. I was like, cool. So at the time that I knew I was going to do this, I went ahead and went to lithium batteries, pulled 2 of the lead acids out and put 2 lithiums in. Well, the problem is that, you know, with the 2-stroke, we went from a 21 pitch to a 17 pitch on the 2-stroke, which brought the boat alive. We'd come out of the hole quick. We were running 60 miles an hour across the water with a 2-stroke with a 17 prop. As I would jump up on plane and trim it out to get the boat to come up on pad, you know, I could go too far and then it would start chine walking, and then I would come back just a little bit to settle the boat and it would do 60 miles an hour across the water. And that's with the 2-stroke. I jumped forward, we put the 4-stroke on. So we started going out and the 4-stroke would get up on plane, but I couldn't get my splash to leave my peripherals to get it up on pad without the prop coming up out of the water. You would hear it cavitating and the exhaust would get loud because the prop was out of the water. So I have to back it back down, and the boat's on plane, but it's not fully up on pad. And that's where I was messing up with trying to explain myself on Facebook. And when my last video about the boat is I said it wouldn't come up on plane. It comes up on plane. So the only thing logical sense for me was to take the motor and drop it down all the holes on the side of the motor. I put it in the very top one, which lowers the motor into the water. So we take it out, hit the hole shot, come on up, gets up on pad. I can start trimming until it gets out of my peripheral. The boat's just screaming. And we gained about like 5 miles an hour after doing that because, you know, I can get it up on pad and push. But then the motor won't come out far enough. Like as you're trimming, it just comes up so far and it stops. Like I guess the forward momentum of the prop digging in the water being that low in the water, it won't let it come all the way out. Now it won't come all the way up and out of the water, but I can't get the pad, the boat to come back up on the back part of the pad, but it hauls butt and it's a little bit faster. So while I'm confused, and I did a prop to pad measurement, it's so if I did the prop to pad measurement, it's over 7 inches, and everybody says the magical number is 3 to 4, or I think 3 to 4. I don't have my notes with me, so correct me in the comments of what you think or what it should be. But then I go on to thinking, okay, if that's the case, then why did I have to drop the motor to get it to go forward? You know, to not come out of the, not to have the prop come out and cavitate on top of the water. Now, is it that I have the wrong prop? So is it trying to push itself? What did I guess people call it, prop slip? Is that was what was going to happen? Was prop slip? That I need to change the prop. I got a Solix 19 on it right now. I think it's Solix, the name of the brand. But to get back to the weight part of it, like if you look on my 640, you'll see that there's a white line that comes around the edge of it. Well, with the 2-stroke, with lead acid, full of water or full of gas, you know, terminate prep, ready to go with my son, it would sit above that white stripe right here on the back corner. The water line, dirty water line from being down in the south would be, you know, it would come around and you could see it in the white. Well, now with the 4-stroke on it, it sets way deeper into the water, and it actually, what is the little thing in there in the back of the boat called, where the top, where the motor slides down in, I can't even think of it, with a drain hole right there. And that's with 2 lithiums and barely any gas in it, because I was like, I'm going to drain all the gas, run all the gas out of it and see how it sets in the water. It didn't even raise a ½ an inch with no gas in it. But it just seems like it's too heavy for the boat. And I don't know if the 4-stroke sits back too far, which is changing the fulcrum and the leverage point, which is causing the boat to sit lower. If the motor itself is offset further back on the prop shaft, and that's why it's pushing more weight past the center fulcrum, whatever, I can't even think of what you would call that part, but it's throwing the balance more aft because the motor and the power head's more aft. I don't know. But what I'm trying to figure out is, and I'll get you guys to understand that, is it will hole shot and come up on plane. I can't get the splash to come out of my peripheral and get it fully up on what I'm thinking is pad. Now maybe I'm still saying it wrong, to where it will pick up, keep going speed. If I did the measurements wrong, my prop to pad is over 7 inches. When I go to trim up, after I get up on plane, when I go to trim up to force the water back, or the weight back out of my peripherals to get it further up on pad to where almost to the point I'm chime walking, that it won't get there. The motor only comes up so far, and I think that's because it's too deep in the water and it's actually trim can't power through the actual forward momentum of the prop now. I hope this helps explain what my problem is. Give me recommendations on prop size, prop type, prop brand. Is the motor just too heavy? Do I raise it up to where I get the 4 to 3 inch of prop to pad? And do I get a jack plate? How's a jack plate going to change anything? I know some people are saying get a jack plate, but how's that going to change my situation with moving the weight of the motor further back off the back end of the boat, which to me was going to raise the boat up, make it sit deeper in the water on the back part. I need help, guys, because I'm almost tempted to go and put the 2-stroke back on and find a different boat for the 4-stroke, find a wider boat. I'd like to get a Z6 or whatever those were, the ones that were the first year that Nitro went wide, or whoever went wide, 90-inch beam or whatever it is, to maybe the width of the boat, which will cause it to pick up, will maybe help with the weight of the motor. But if it's just me in the boat with no gas, and I even took the 2 lithiums out to where it's only just 1 lead acid, minimal gear, well, actually no gear. We took everything out when I was on the lake before we lowered the motor, and it did the exact same thing. Like, pulling all that weight out didn't help settle the boat and make it go further, faster, or anything. I need advice, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment below on this video at YouTube to try to keep all the comments together, please. I appreciate any and all advice. Thank you.